I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 5 English lesson on opinions. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, grade 5. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of opinions. All right. So, chapter is opinions. Our subject is English Language Arts, grade 5. And the lessons that we're going to be focusing on under the chapter of opinions is to distinguish facts from opinions, and to identify an author's statement of opinion. All right. So, an opinion, right? An opinion is something that a person believes, thinks, or feels. So, we are not saying that your opinion is right, but no, but we're also not saying your opinion is wrong, because that is what you believe, that is what you think, and what you feel, right? That is an opinion. Something that a person believes, something thinks, some a person thinks or a person feels. If I believe that something is the truth, then this is something that I believe in. If they ask my opinion, this is what I think about something, this is what I feel about that specific thing, right? And when you read, right, then it's important to notice the places where a writer states opinions, right? Because there's a clear difference between something that is a fact and something that is an opinion. So in, let's say for example, in a text, right? Then when there's a text or a story or a book or something, right? Then when you read, then it's important for us to notice the places where the writer states opinions. Even if you look at magazines, newspapers, articles, right? We have our facts, and then we also have our opinions, right? Facts is something that is true, it is stated, it is, there's evidence about the facts. And then your opinion is something that, let's say, for example, either the writer believes, that the writer either thinks, or that the writer feels. And we say that when it is important to notice places where the writer states an opinion, because then once we clearly look at where the writer states their opinion, then you can basically decide whether you agree with those opinions or you disagree, right? Because that is why we said opinions is what somebody believes is true, what somebody thinks is true, or what somebody feels is the truth, right? All right. So if we look at an example, right, it says almost half of all children have had a cavity in one of their baby teeth, right? So this is a serious problem. Cavities can cause children to lose baby teeth early. So if you look at that sentence, right, it says almost half of children have had a cavity in one of their baby teeth, right? This is a serious problem. Cavities can cause children to lose their baby teeth early. So by looking at that text, right, the writer states an opinion, right, within that sentence. And remember, when it comes to opinions, right, and either a writer stating an opinion or adding their opinion, right, then it means that your opinion or anybody else's opinion might differ from the next person's opinion. Like, for example, here where the writer says, this is a serious problem. Is having a cavity a serious problem? Right? So now you need to tell yourself, is cavities really a serious problem? Because that is the opinion that the writer gives, that cavities is a serious problem. All right. So we're going now to aplusstudents.ca, and then we're going to distinguish facts from opinions and to determine an author's statement of opinion. All right. So now we said our chapter is opinions, and we're going to determine or distinguish facts from opinions. All right, so we're going to identify an author's statement of opinion, right? And we see that when it comes to an author's opinion, right, or when it comes to an opinion in general, then an opinion is something that a person believes, thinks, or feels, right? That is an opinion. You can have an opinion, I can have an opinion, right? And no one can actually say that your opinion is wrong or your opinion is right, because they can just either disagree or they can agree with it, right? But it's not a thing of, yeah, it should not be like that, right? So with an opinion, yes, I can agree or disagree with somebody's opinion. But if you, for example, agree or disagree, let's say you disagree with somebody's opinion, then you need to tell us why you disagree with somebody's opinion, right? Because remember, if somebody were to ask me my opinion on something, then I give you information based on what I believe is the truth. I give you information on what I think it is, and I give you information on based on what I feel about whatever that we have just discussed, right? Because that is my opinion. You can also give your opinion. And with your opinion, it is basically saying, this is my own words. I'm putting something in my own words. That is an opinion, right? So we see that when we read, then it's important to notice places where the writer states an opinion. And remember, I said that in magazines, in newspapers, articles, even on the news, right? When you watch the news on television, right? The journalists, or let's say writers, right? They basically state facts. But with stating facts, they also throw in their opinions, right? Because remember, they need to also state or say what they believe, what they think, or what they feel. Then you, as the viewer, you, as the reader, can decide if what he or she says, I'm talking about the opinion, if it is true or not true. No problem, Prabha. No problem. All the best with your personal matters. Have a good day, Prabha. No problem. All right. So we said that writers, they also give their opinions. And then with their opinion, you can then decide as the reader, or you can decide as the viewer, or somebody that's watching television, right? You can decide whether you agree with this opinion or you don't, right? And that is now one or two lines from all of the facts that was given. All right. And we made an example of almost half of all children have had a cavity in one of their baby teeth. This is a serious problem. Cavities can cause children to lose baby teeth early, right? So that underlined word or words or sentence, right? So that underlined sentence, right? This is a serious problem. That is the opinion that the writer basically added. Because the fact is that almost half of children had a cavity in their baby teeth, and cavities can cause children to lose baby teeth early. That is facts. But the opinion of the writer is that this is a serious problem. So now you need to decide as a reader, is it actually serious or not, right? Because when a writer states an opinion, you can then decide. And if your opinion is different, if you maybe think that no, this is not a serious problem, cavities can be avoided by doing X, Y, and Z, right? If you even have a different, for example, opinion about whether the number of children with cavities is a serious problem, right? Then these are the things that you can state. Because remember, with an opinion, you may have a different opinion. And opinions is basically your answer. It is what you believe, it is what you think, and what you feel is the truth. All right. So we are going to first do an activity by selecting the sentence where the writer states an opinion, right? So that is what we're going to do first before we go on to our test. Was it a serious problem when you had a cavity? How did it feel? Do you think when you had cavities that it was a serious problem? All right, so now we're going to, it says, select the sentence where the writer states an opinion, right? So it says, fiddle and violin are different names for the same stringed instrument. Folk music, folk musicians usually call the instrument a fiddle. So folk musicians usually call the instrument a fiddle, while others prefer to call it a violin. No matter what you call it, though, the instrument makes beautiful music. So if we look at that sentence, that let's say that little sentence, right, or sentences, or the mini paragraph, if we look at that, what is the opinion that the writer gives us? The opinion. What is the opinion within that text? Once again, it says fiddle and violin are different names for the same stringed instrument. Folk musicians usually call the instrument a fiddle, while others prefer to call it a violin. No matter what you call it, though, the instrument makes beautiful music. We need to select the opinion. We need to select the opinion that the writer gives within that text. So, what is the opinion? All right, so if we were to select the opinion within that text, right, I'm going to underline it, right? The opinion is no matter what you call it, though, the instrument makes beautiful music. And that is definitely the opinion of the writer. Because I'm sure someone who sticks to the word fiddle or someone who sticks to the word violin, they firmly believe that it's not about just whatever you call it, right? This is the name and we are sticking to that name. That is usually what they think it is, right? Or that they think of or they believe, right? So, but the writer says that no matter what you call it, you can call it a fiddle, you can call it a violin, right? But the instrument makes beautiful music, right? So you can agree or disagree with basically the statement that the statement of opinion that the writer had made, right? So you can either agree, you can disagree, and even if you do, then you need to state whether or why you specifically disagree or why you agree. All right. Okay, we're looking at the next one, right? It says Brian is an amazing dancer. He has been dancing since he was 4 years old. So he has had years of training. He was even invited to train for the is it Joffrey or Jeffrey? The Joffrey Ballet in Chicago last summer. So once again, we're going to read the text that says Brian is an amazing dancer. He has been dancing since he was 4 years old. So he has had years of training. He was even invited to train with the Joffrey Ballet in Chicago last summer. We need to identify or select the sentence where the writer states an opinion within that text. All right. So if we were to select the opinion within that text, right? I'm going to underline it. Then the opinion of the writer is that Brian is an amazing dancer. Because remember, we said an opinion is something that you believe, something that you think, or something that you feel, right? So I think that the writer thinks or believes that he is an amazing dancer. But the facts is that he has been dancing since the age of 4. He has had years of training, right? And he was also invited to train with the Jeffrey Ballet in Chicago last summer. So, which means that the opinion of the writer is that Brian is an amazing dancer, right? It shows that the writer believes or he thinks or even feels that this boy is an amazing dancer. Maybe somebody else's opinion differs. Maybe if the person, somebody else sees how he dances and you think to yourself like, I don't think this one can dance. But the writer thinks or he believes or he feels that this guy is an amazing dancer, that Brian is an amazing dancer, right? And remember, another person might feel different about the opinion about Brian or whether he's an amazing dancer, but that is the opinion of the writer. All right, let's look at the last one. It says Sir Ernest Shackleton, a British explorer who led trips to the Antarctic, was a true hero. During one expedition, Shackleton's ship sank, and he and his crew were stranded for almost 2 years. They camped on ice blocks in the middle of the ocean and played games to keep their spirits up. So we now need to select the sentence where the writer states an opinion. So once again, we say that Sir Ernest Shackleton, a British explorer who led trips to the Antarctic, was a true hero. During one expedition, Shackleton's ship sank and he and his crew were stranded for almost 2 years. They camped on ice blocks in the middle of the ocean and played games to keep their spirits up. So we need to select the opinion that the writer makes. So we're going to underline the opinion. And the opinion within that text is that Sir Ernest Shackleton, that's a British explorer, red trips to Antarctica, was a true hero. Right? That is the opinion of a writer, that he was a true hero. Maybe somebody else differs, right? But the writer believes, or the writer thinks, or the writer feels that this man, which is Mr. Sir Ernest Shackleton, the British explorer, right, who led trips to Antarctica, he believes that this man was a true hero, right? And once again, like I say, when it comes to opinions, right, you think, you believe, or you feel that something is the truth. And once again, like I say, a different person might have a different opinion about whether he was a hero or not. But that is why, if you have a different opinion where you feel like, I don't think this man was a hero, then you need to state or give a reason as to why you think this guy is not a hero. Right? Because when it comes to an opinion is something that you believe in, that you think, and that what you feel. It is what you personally and individually think, believe, or feel. All right, so now we're going to our test. We need to select the sentence where the writer states an opinion, right? It says, next Tuesday is the first day of the school year. The first day of school is scary because you don't know what to expect. There's usually a new teacher, and sometimes there are new students. The whole school year lies ahead. So we need to select the opinion of the writer. Is it option one, the first day of school is scary because you don't know what to expect, or option two, next Tuesday is the first day of the school year? We need to select the opinion of the writer. So we need to select either option one or option two. Which one do you think is an opinion that the writer stated? An opinion. All right, so we can then say that the first day of school is scary because you do not know what to expect, right? That is the writer's opinion. That is what the writer thinks. Okay, so knowing where our words come from is important. For example, the word library comes from a Latin word. The Latin word for book is liber or liber. So, knowing where our words come from is important. For example, the word library comes from a Latin word, and the Latin word for book is liber or liber, right? So, it's liber. So, we now need to select the sentence where the writer states an opinion. Is it option one that says knowing where our words come from is important? Or option two, the Latin word for book is liber? All right, and if we were to select the opinion, right, that the writer states, then we will go with option one, right? So we'll go with option one because that is the opinion that the writer made, that knowing where your words come from is important. Some people don't think that we that I need to know where my words come from. Some people don't think that is important, that where the words come from is important. But what is the truth and the fact is that the Latin word for book is liber. So option one is correct. All right, we need to select the sentence where the writer states an opinion. It says carrot raisin salad takes about 10 to 15 minutes to prepare. There is no better snack for a lazy summer afternoon. So to start, you will need shredded carrots and raisins. All right. So once again, it is carrot raisin salad. Takes about 10 to 15 minutes to prepare. There's no better snack for a lazy summer afternoon. To start, you will need shredded carrots and raisins. You also need something to mix with them with, such as mayonnaise or yogurt. All right, and if we were to select the opinion of the writer, then we would go with option one. So option one is an opinion, and the reason why it's an opinion, right? Because the writer says there's no better snack for a lazy summer afternoon. Remember, what is nice for the one person is not nice for the other person. What is yummy or tasty for the one person is not yummy or tasty for the other person. So we cannot assume that there is no better snack for a lazy summer other than this one. So we will go with option one. All right. The next one says Sir Ernest Shackleton, a British explorer who led trips to Antarctica, was a true hero. So during one expedition, Shackleton's ship sank and he and his crew were stranded for almost 2 years. They camped on ice blocks in the middle of the ocean and played games to keep their spirits up. All right, and if we were to choose the opinion of the writer, then we would say it is Sir Ernest Shackleton, the British explorer that led trips to Antarctica, was a true hero. Fiddle and violin are different names for the same stringed instrument. Folk musicians usually call the instrument a fiddle. And if we were to choose the correct one, we would say no matter what you call it, the instrument makes beautiful music. All right, and if we were to choose or to select the opinion of the writer, And then we can say it is no matter what you call it, though the instrument makes beautiful music. Not everybody believes that it makes music beautiful music, right? Brian is an amazing dancer. He has been dancing since he was 4 years old. So he has had years of training. All right. And if we were to select the opinion, right, then we can say it is Brian is an amazing dancer. Because, like I said, what if one person sees how amazing someone is, right? You can't convince somebody else to, for example, also say the same thing. So we need to choose the correct. It says Brian is a. We said Brian is an amazing dancer, and we said that is our opinion or the writer's opinion, right? All right. It says the pineapple guava tree has white and red flowers and green fruit. The fruit ripens in late fall. Its taste is far too sour to be enjoyable. All right, so we can say we go with option two that says its taste is far too sour to be enjoyable. Remember, some people love it sour, right? Some people love it a bit ripe, right? All right, so we can say it taste is far too sour to be enjoyable. All right, so that is the end of our lesson on opinions, right? Remember, an opinion is something that you believe, you feel, what you think is right. And people can, for example, agree or disagree with someone's opinion. right. So that is the end of our lesson on opinions. Thank you very much, grade 5, for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good evening further.